Before I get started here, I'm going to talk about the two tickers I'm really looking at this week, what I'm really looking at this week. But go ahead and come over to ZTradez.net, check out our terms and conditions page, go ahead and read over our disclaimer, agree to it, and nothing I say is financial advice. Let's go ahead and jump into this. I don't like this, I really do not like the candle here on the weekly on QQQ. That's kind of sketching me out. I want to also take a look and see what we got going on with SPY here. Let's go ahead and pull up SPY on the weekly. That's not good. I really do not like that. That's a shooting star right there. Although we are trending up, that's a shooting star. That is kind of sketchy. Let's take a look at the daily. Only thing I really see is where we could possibly bounce off the EMA right here. Other than that, what I see on QQQ weekly and SPY daily isn't good. Aside from that, let's take a look at what we got coming up here later on in the week. Usually if you want to be taking something for, I don't play earnings unless it's the sell side. I don't do buy side earnings. Now, sometimes I will if it's some of the leverage funds in the top 10 of the S&P. But let's take a look. What I like to do is about a month, right around 3 weeks prior to earnings, buy something about 3 months out, a little bit, kind of out of the money, a decent amount out of the money, because the IV run up into earnings usually will exceed sometimes the theta decay, depending on if IV is low at the time. I want to get it when IV is low prior to earnings and have that IV run up. And usually you'll see that a lot of stocks will run up into earnings, and I want to get it before that IV really starts to get going. I think the sweet spot most of the time is right around 3 weeks. Look what we got going on right here. Check this out. We have a gap right there that has not been filled yet here on Nike. So I forgot they had earnings. I want to look to see who has earnings the following month. I want to look a month out. But adding anywhere over in here would have been great on any of these dips. I do think that we could possibly see this prior. If I do decide to get in, that's where I'll be taking an exit. It's not that far out, about a $2 move here for us to go ahead and fill that gap. I want to zoom out here and see what else we got going on. I highly doubt that gap's going to be filled anytime soon. This one has a higher probability, in my opinion, prior to earnings. That's what I'm going to be looking at. I'm pretty sure FedEx has earnings here. I wanted to pull that up as well. Not looking bad. Look at the volume down here. Volume down here looks fantastic. We also broke a... let's go ahead and pull this up here. Chart this out. See what we got going on. Nothing spectacular. You can ignore that. I want to take a look at it on a weekly here and see what we have. I really like that. Wow. I did not. This is why it's so important. It's very hard to look at all equities on all the time frames. Look at this. You want it to kiss for it to be a trend line or a support line. What I want to see for a trend line is for it to kiss it 3 times, right? 1, 2, 3. Some people would say this is 1, right? I would like to see it kiss it 3 times. Right there would define it as a trend right here in my book. Wow, look at this. It's a shame I wasn't looking at this, earlier. This is just beautiful. Look at it down here as well. This could go into earnings. The only thing that I see that's going against it is we're being pinned down by some of these EMAs right here. I'm kind of just charting right now and thinking out loud. So I'm going to be watching FedEx. I'm going to really have Nike on watch. What's dangerous is the fact that SPY, we've pretty much got a shooting star right there. I also do not like the candle on QQQ as well. Before I log off here, so FedEx and Nike are what I'm going to be looking at. I want to take a look here at Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks like we have a 1, 2, 3. What I'm predicting is we're probably going to come down and kiss this EMA and go from a reversal from there. Do I see all-time highs happening right now? I don't. What looks sketchy to me is we're kind of making an M pattern on, you know, double top M pattern. I don't like that. That's kind of sketchy. But remember, Bitcoin, it usually takes a good 6 months after the halving for it to go. So if we go over to a monthly here, it was in May of 2020. Let's go ahead and pull this up. May. So let's count. Each candlestick's a month. This was May. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 months. So in September, your gains will render, right? That's the saying. We can see September was bearish here on Bitcoin as well. And then we never looked back. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of up. There was some up in here as well, because this before this sucked back and came around and formed a neutral candle there. But basically 6.5 months of going straight up vertical, which is wild, absolutely wild. I'm really hoping, you know, what we had going on here was the halving and the dollar dropping. You know, there was quantitative easing going on heavily right here. So what are we about to go into right now? We're about to go into quantitative easing. So this just looks great. This whole setup over here looks fantastic. I really like seeing this right here. That looks great. Look at that on a monthly. That looks amazing, actually. I'm just going to kind of do some rough draft drawings here. I mean, that's beautiful. That looks great. We pretty much have a cup and handle here, and it kind of looks like we're flagging a bit here on the monthly over here on Bitcoin. Now, keep in mind, I have to look at this on multiple time frames as well as line charts, and I use TrendSpider. I don't have that on TOS, so I'm kind of shooting from the hip here and being vague on the patterns because I want to really dig into it, and I can't do that as well on TD Ameritrade versus TrendSpider. Again, pretty much looks like we got a cup and handle. Pretty much looks like we have a bull flag here on the monthly. This could take a good bit to play out. We're probably going to keep dancing for a little bit. Go up, go back down, go up, go back down. Probably going to create a flag. Breakout, fail, then shoot up to all-time highs, something like that. So I'm going to take a look at ETHE as well. The recovery on that has been fantastic. When I had called that out somewhere over in here and it had dropped and I had bought, I knew what was going on behind the scenes, that the lawsuit would probably be dropped. And regardless, if it wasn't dropped, I could keep adding, and I knew Ethereum was going to go up whenever the crypto market wants to really go. But this was a great win, 35% gain, 34% gains. I mean, this was just fantastic. I think my lowest add was in the 23s, somewhere over in here, and it just took off. Great play there. But other than that, we got AVGO split. AVGO is correcting quite a bit right now. That is a 1, 2, 3 there on the daily. We could go back up. But regardless, I'd like to add, if we dip a decent amount, that selling volume is ridiculous. We're not splitting till, I think it's July 15th. So usually around 4 days before the split, 4 to 5 days is where it can really get some steam. But that is a 1, 2, 3, so I can look for a reversal there. Look how great this chart looked right here. That is so bullish right there. Look at the volume as well. Picking up strong in a row. Just ascending order. Great chart right there. Let's take a look at AVGO on the weekly. IWM is the last thing I'm going to take a look at. Okay. God, it's been lagging. It has really been lagging. Look at it since 2021 here. You know, 220. It's just sucked. Basically, look at it from what is this? 2022. You know, it's been pretty much at the same price the whole time. Look at that beautiful 1, 2, 3 right there. It's been pretty much the same price the whole time. IWM really likes to go in a low interest rate environment. I mean, it can just send it flying. So there was something else I was going to take a look at. We're going to take a look at Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla on the weekly. Look at this. This looks pretty. This looks hot right here. I mean, that just looks great. Pin between the EMAs, each candle, each wick lower, 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 but holding. It's kind of pinned. It wants to go. Look at all these gaps all over the place. And what a weird period of time it was on Tesla to run like this. I mean, this was just crazy, completely flat. We have a squeeze over here as well. I would keep an eye on Tesla going into next week. What I don't like is the volume really isn't there to support it too much. We'll see what happens. But this thing's pinned. It's having trouble going down. We've got a lot of EMAs here. Wicks are getting shorter and shorter. Then it's pinned right here. And then we have a squeeze. This thing could pop again. Would love to see it shoot up to 190, possibly higher. Sometimes Tesla can completely disconnect from the market, from the rest of the stocks in the S&P. Last thing I'm going to look at is Google here. Google looks great on the daily. Take a look at the weekly. Yeah. Take a look at all these levels. One more. We're going to take a look at Amazon. I want to see what's going on with Amazon on the weekly. Let's check out the daily as well. Look at the daily here. Look at the volume. That volume spike right there. I wish I would have been looking at this. You really have to be on top of it and be looking at everything on the daily right towards the end of the day to catch candlesticks. And Friday, right around close, the last hour, you want to be taking a look at candlesticks on the weekly to see what's going on. But a gorgeous pop. That volume down there is so attractive, especially when it peaked up on this day, right? Dead giveaway that we were going to shoot up and start breaking out. Anyways, if you guys like this content, make sure to like and follow for more. I'm going to be doing some watch list updates here on YouTube. I'm going to be posting them in the Discord group. If you guys want to join the Discord, it's completely free. You can join it down in the description below. I'm also going to be posting it in the Facebook groups as well. I'm going to be charting live, finding stuff live instead of already preparing it. That way you can hear me think out loud and see my thoughts whenever I catch stuff, and you can learn from it that way.